Here's what's coming up on today's show.
In my opinion, and I've said this before, insurance is not an investment, although some people who just sell insurance will tell you that. Insurance is not an investment. Insurance serves a purpose, but if you're looking to accumulate wealth and you want an asset, I wouldn't use insurance for that.
Hello, this is Mark Silverman, managing member and founder of Silverman & Associates, and I'm also a certified financial planner professional. I want to welcome you to the Saving with Silverman podcast. I'm glad you're here. Each week, we'll discuss different financial planning topics because making smarter choices about your money impacts the quality of your life.
They got a crime of the week. We always try and keep our listeners out of trouble with the law. Don't want to run afoul of the police. It's a federal crime for a pipe tobacco importer to import pipe tobacco unless the pipe tobacco says pipe tobacco on it.
Interesting.
Some of these things are so silly, man. I'm telling you.
You don't see too many people smoking pipes anymore.
Not anymore.
I couldn't even tell you the last time I saw somebody smoking.
I don't see a whole lot of people smoking, period.
Thankfully.
Yeah.
But pipe tobacco, you don't really see that ever.
Yeah, and if somebody is smoking a pipe, you're going to know about it. That's for sure. No question about it.
That's true.
A lot of people, they may not spend time smoking a pipe these days, but a lot of people spend time on their computers and searching for things on Google. And a recent study that analyzed Google trends revealed the top 6 financial topics that people search for on Google. And I'm going to leave it to you to tell us what some of the problems might be in Googling income taxes, for example. What kind of issues could you have there?
Well, I think anytime you Google, and this will apply to all of them, I'm sure, but when you do Google searches, if you're not aware, but if you look at the top searches, it'll say ad paid for. So the people that are paying for those are just paying for those search words, those ad words, not necessarily may not be an expert or be giving you the right information.
They have an agenda suitable for their own purposes.
Exactly. So you kind of want to scroll down a little bit and move out of the ads, the paid stuff, and see what comes up, and then read it. And maybe read a few of them and make sure they all kind of go along the same lines. If they're all conflicting each other, then you probably want to reach out to somebody else. But with income taxes, and we talk about taxes, we do tax planning. We don't do tax returns here. And I'm not a CPA. Legally, I'm not allowed to give tax advice. But what I would encourage you to do is, when it comes to taxes, is speak to somebody qualified. And they should either be a CPA or an EA, enrolled agent. And I think those are the sort of people that you want to make sure you're talking to with taxes. We work with people, CPAs and EAs, et cetera, when we build plans to make sure that we're giving the right advice and refer to the CPA as the final say when it comes to taxes. But we'll do tax planning here, like I said, as far as minimizing and some opportunities there, but working, coordinating with the CPA and the tax person of our clients as well.
Well, we all want to, we may not want to, but we all think it's fair to pay our fair share, but you don't want to end up paying more than you have to.
Correct.
And that's one of the advantages of having a conversation with Mark Silverman, because he can point out a lot of things to you and point you in the right direction for getting a handle on all of that kind of stuff. How about insurance? If you just Google insurance, you're going to get a lot of information and a lot of misinformation, and again, things that were written by someone with an agenda.
Yeah, and insurance is such a general term. And in full disclosure, I am insurance licensed, life and health. I don't do health, and I don't do a lot of insurance, but I have the knowledge to understand it. But, with insurance, there's lots of different things. You have health insurance, you have life insurance, you have, annuities fall under that to an extent. And then other things such as there could be property and casualty insurance. So it depends on what kind of insurance. You kind of probably want to be more specific when it comes to insurance and what type of insurance you're looking for. In my opinion, and I've said this before, insurance is not an investment, although some people who just sell insurance will tell you that. Mm-hmm. Insurance is not an investment. Insurance serves a purpose, but if you're looking to accumulate wealth and you want an asset, I wouldn't use insurance for that.
Well, again, if you want to check into getting a mortgage, or you want to find out more about mortgages in general, you do a Google search. Some of that stuff may be useful and some not, because there are so many variations to talk about.
Yeah, and I think when it comes to mortgages, I mean, again, you're going to see the paid ads there because there's so much money to be made with mortgages, and you're going to see all these paid ads from different companies that want you to do the mortgage through them. But if you're just looking at mortgages, or if you're, I'm assuming, maybe looking to see what rates are at on a purchase or refi, one of the sites that I like to use, and I'm not endorsing them, but it's a site called Bankrate, BANKRATE.com. And they are, you can look up all sorts of different things, money market rates, CD rates, mortgage rates, etc. I think we use it to kind of give you a guide and show you where rates are, not on an advertised basis, but on what's out there.
You're listening to Saving with Silverman with the one and only Mark Silverman. 520-333-7601 is his number to call or text, because making smarter choices about your money really impacts the quality of your life. And I'll give you that number again coming up in just a few minutes here. We're talking about top Google searches for financial terms, things having to do with your money, retirement accounts. Boy, I mean, we've had lots of discussions about different kinds of retirement accounts. The world is wide, and if you just Google retirement accounts, you're going to have the same thing. You're going to find things that were written by someone with an agenda to fit their particular purpose.
Right. And there's so many different types of retirement accounts. You got 401ks, 403bs, TSPs, IRAs, traditional IRAs, Roth IRAs, SEPs, Simples. So there's all these different accounts depending on whether you're self-employed or working for another company, whatever it might be. So you got to be a little bit more specific in what you're looking at. You don't want to just go set up an account because you read something that says that you're eligible for that. Again, you want to make sure that plan is going to help you maximize what you can contribute to it. And it allows you to do what you're supposed to do, and you meet the requirements, because the IRS does have stipulations. Not just anybody can open an IRA and fund it, depending on if you're already participating in a 401k. A lot of times you can't fund an IRA as well. So that, you just got to know what the tax laws are, and that's why you want to either get a CFP or a CPA, et cetera, involved in before you open those type of accounts up.
One of the things we talk about a lot on this show is how expensive it is to go to college these days. And a lot of folks listening to the show maybe have kids who are, thinking about going to college or in college right now, or, still have college debts to pay. And a lot of people out there want to help their grandchildren, for example, to get through college. College expenses in general, boy, that is a wide topic right there. And you can't just find out what you want to know by Googling it.
Yeah, and there's different types of accounts. There's, education accounts, as well as, probably the most popular is a 529 plan for college costs. And I know this very well. Obviously, some of you may know my daughter's leaving for college in August.
Yep.
And so dealing with that now. But, you just got to understand, the college costs are going up and up. We have software that we can use when we do our planning, where if somebody knows where they want to go, we can put it in and give you exact cost of what it's going to be now, and then we can inflate it for the future if they're going to be going in several years, et cetera. So, getting a handle on what those things are going to cost, especially out of state, it's a big number, especially when you add it, you multiply it times 4.
It's a big topic of conversation. A lot of people are, there's been a lot of discussion about loan forgiveness and all this kind of thing, and who knows where that's going to go.
It's not going to go, yeah.
But, yeah, I don't think so at this point. But, I know some people who have been approaching middle age and still paying off college loans. It's a crazy thing.
No, it is. It is. But, I'm of the belief if you borrow money, you got to pay it back.
Yeah.
I think it just sets the wrong precedence.
Yeah.
Especially somebody younger who's, borrows money and they get it waived away. Then they go get a job and start charging on their credit card and waiting for that to get waived away. It's just, you borrow it, you got to pay it back.
Bad habit to fall into, for sure.
Yeah.
One other thing, there's a lot involved with this. And, a lot of people may search on Google estate planning. And that's one of the things that you take into consideration, everything, an individual's family and, where they want their assets to go to and all that kind of thing. But it does take a plan.
It does. And, we look at it, we meet with people in different stages. So, some people already have set up wills and trusts and durable power of attorneys and all those sorts of things, medical directives and all that sort of thing, which is great. But even if they've done that, we always look at it and review it to make sure, when was it done? Where was it done? If they're from out of state, it might need to be changed if they're a resident of Arizona now. People, die and they're born. So you want to make sure the people that are designated in there are still active and alive. And sometimes those need to be updated. And tax laws changes. I mean, there's a big one changing in 2026 where state taxes are going to be sunset. So that could affect everybody depending on if that goes through, which they're saying it's going to. So, it's just reviewing that, making sure that you have those sorts of things. If you haven't set up anything, we'll talk about, at least getting simple wills. Maybe you need a trust, maybe you don't. Maybe you need to set up, TODs and PODs, transfer on death and payable on death. So there's definitely some tools out there that could accomplish what you're looking to accomplish, but it's just understanding what the options are available to you and doing something about them rather than just ignoring it and hoping that things are going to work out, because that's not how things work out.
It's really important to stay on top of all this stuff, and there's so much uncertainty these days because, as we know, our politicians can't agree on anything, and things may change. That's why you need.
Well, that
to
will
work.
Never change.
Oh yeah. Basic
agree on anything that'll never change. So.
Yeah, but you need to be aware of all these things, and that is an advantage of working with someone like Mark Silverman, who stays up with all these new laws and regulations, whatever the case may be.
Yeah, we're going to be looking out for your best interest, and that's the whole definition of a fiduciary, which I am. People ask, "Are you a fiduciary?" Yeah, I'm a CFP. A lot of people, especially on the radio, call themselves fiduciaries, and then when you pull back the curtains, they really aren't. I mean, I'll give one example. There's a company that's on the radio that talks about an annuity with some crazy bonus that they're going to give you, and they're recommending you buy that annuity. In the next sentence, they tell you they're a fiduciary, which is crazy because as a fiduciary, you don't recommend something unless you know anything about them. So to generally make a statement of trying to get somebody to buy an annuity, which isn't what it seems. It's a pie in the sky number. It's not. It doesn't even make any sense.
Yeah.
If it sounds too good to be true, it is. So being a fiduciary, and that's why we do planning, because really I can't give advice until I've done my homework and really looked at everything. When you go meet with somebody and they're already recommending a product to you in the first meeting, are they really looking out for your best interest or their own? So that's, and they're to each their own. There are people that just want to be sold a product. If that's what you're looking for, that's not us. But if you're looking for a relationship and somebody that actually cares, that's willing to put in the time to put a plan together for you, that's exactly what we do.
You've been listening to the Saving with Silverman podcast. If you have any questions at all about your financial situation, please give Mark Silverman a call. Again, his number is 520-333-7601. Or go online to savingwithsilverman.com. For Mark Silverman, I'm Ron Stutz. We'll see you next time on the Saving with Silverman podcast.
The Saving with Silverman podcast is brought to you by Silverman & Associates Wealth Management, LLC, based in Tucson, Arizona. The show is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and everywhere you listen to shows. Subscribe to the show on your favorite app today and never miss an episode. Just search for Saving with Silverman to find us, or visit savingwithsilverman.com to listen to past episodes, to contact Mark, and to learn more about how to make smarter decisions with your money.
Did you know that Mark Silverman also has a radio show? Tune in to Saving with Silverman Saturdays and Sundays at 3 p.m. on AM 790 KNST.
All matters discussed on this show are for informational purposes only. Opinions expressed are solely those of Silverman & Associates Wealth Management, LLC, and staff. All topics covered are believed to be from reliable sources. However, Silverman & Associates Wealth Management, LLC makes no representation as to its accuracy or completeness. This show shall in no way be construed as a solicitation to sell securities or investment advisory services to residents of any state other than Arizona or where otherwise permitted. Topics should be discussed with your individual advisor prior to implementation. Fee-based financial planning and investment advisory services offered through Silverman & Associates Wealth Management, LLC, a registered investment advisor in the state of Arizona. Insurance products and services are offered through Silverman & Associates, an affiliated company.